Take two of really long video, possibly. LMAO. I'm here with Neil.
Hi.
Yeah, we gotta talk. We're gonna talk about this. We had some really good points
Again.
too. Wow, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Okay,
Oh no.
all right. Okay. First thing was take a moment to praise them on consistently good story. Pog.
Wait, don't read your points out loud. Just say. uh.
I know. I know. I'm just like, ah, yeah, this sucks. Okay. We can move on. We could do it like this. Okay. How did you like the gameplay? Like, what aspects do you like about the gameplay?
Um. I like the AT. I like positioning. I like the AT bar. It's fun to know when you're gonna go and your opponent's gonna go. Um. I like brave orders in Coastal 3 and 4. Uh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Super good. Super fun
that's
to
good.
use.
Um, I like yeah, I like crafts and like magic and stuff and orbments and yeah. Um, our lovely setting of Arabonia. How did you
Yeah.
feel about it? Do you
I
think
actually really
they did it justice?
I think they definitely did the setting justice. Like it's been set up since Sky, and like they did it. I think they did it pretty well.
That's good. I think that they did the best with what they could with the limitations of the Vita.
Yeah, the Vita definitely didn't help, but like I think they did a good job overall with the
Um,
setting.
yeah. I really liked stuff. I mean, yeah, I think that they could have shown off more of it in 3 and 4, but
Yeah, I mean it's not like we didn't see every location in Erebonia, but like
it would
in
have
three
been
and four
nice to
we
see them
can
in
go
HD
back to
glory.
older ones. Yeah, it would have been really cool. Instead of the Vita graphics would have been nice, but maybe
Yeah.
one day, maybe one day they'll let me do it.
Do they let you in Hajimari now?
No, no, they don't. Not a single Eastern
Yikes.
area. I know, dude. That would have been the perfect time, dude. Like, come on.
True, because like, do we really still have a branch
I
campus?
think the
Doesn't
only
everybody just
place you go,
move to like the main campus at this point?
no, it's still a branch campus, but
Whatever.
like
No, no, but I meant like,
the
why
only
couldn't it
place,
have just been that? Just saying.
what?
Like the branch
Then what?
camp, it could have just been the branch campus stuff, or it could have they could have just like
Hmm?
moved to like the branch campus to the main campus after. Um,
Um, well, I don't know. I feel like it has its own thing now, so I don't know, dude. But also, the Hajimari, you do get to go to Ymir, and that's kind of it, as far as I'm aware.
well, that's
You're
sad.
not there long. Yeah, it's just Ymir, but hey, that's something. It's more than God and Coastal for.
I guess
LOL.
so.
But yeah. I'm like, I like Ymir. I'm like, all right,
Cool, Pog. Music.
all right. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll just say this. This is kind of quick. I guess I'll just be like, yeah. So, Coastal 1 and 2, that's some peak Kiseki music right there. 3 and 4, the quality kind of dips. It's still very good, but like in terms of the standard that Falcom has set for themselves, I don't think it matches that. Really, there are really good songs in both games, bangers in there, but like overall, the soundtrack falls short, in my opinion. But still a
Yeah.
good music all around.
Yeah, I like four's opening and four's battle music, and then everything else I'm about. So yeah. Then we have story and plot. So one we kind of praised, actually, like it was
Yes,
pretty
one
good.
is incredible.
Um,
Love Coffee One, dude.
so basically for that one, what did we say for that one? I really liked well, the Machia scene obviously in 6. Um I think that like in 1 and 2 they write the shipping stuff like a lot better, because in 3 and 4 it's like everybody's kind of like everybody's like they just start writing characters to like Reen for the sake of liking Reen, and it's just like
Not in three. It's more. It's really only in four. In three, it's like it's pretty aight for the most part.
yeah. um
But it gets bad. It gets real bad for the bonding
and
events. Like romance wise, not
but like I think in 1
writing
and
wise.
2 it's just like it's pretty clear that it's Reen and Elisa, even though you could kind
Yeah,
of pick your own.
although I think it's clear in all four games. It's just yeah, they kind of went hard on the other girls in bonding events only in later games.
I mean, I would say his sister, because I mentioned like I really liked his sister in 1, but like in 2, 3, and 4 is kind of a bit much. With like her liking Reen, other than like the parts with like Patrick or the scene with Ash was
Yeah,
really
dude,
funny.
that's a ship, dude. Elise and Patrick, dude, I
True,
ship that.
true.
Like when I first met him, I was like, no way in hell are they doing this. But now I'm like, they have to do
Yeah,
this.
and then
They give my man a glow up, dude.
yeah,
Have to.
and
Like he's a
then
likable character. Fantastic.
true. What else? The Nord scene with Reen and Elisa was so good.
Yup, like if you didn't already like Elisa, like now you like Elisa. It's like, oh, so good, dude.
I mean, some people just don't, and they're just like Reen and Laura for the win, and I'm just like
Well,
LMAO
like,
Lamau.
well, I don't even mean like as a ship or anything. I mean like just as a character.
True. And then
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
and then like we also liked its structure, and we mentioned everything about the Liberation Front,
yeah,
and
we did.
then for 2, I mentioned that I really didn't like the act stuff, because I'm not like, I don't know. I think we did all of the saving we needed to in 1. Or all of the saving stuff in Act 1, and Act 2 kind of just feels like the
Like
repetition.
we didn't really save. It was more like just you know
Or
fight
well, we had to
finding our
like
friends.
continue to get people, and like I don't know. I wasn't that big of a fan of that, but like I really liked the intermission, the finale, and the what is that called? The part with Lloyd and what's
Yeah,
her
honestly,
name?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Risha.
Risha. I liked
Rishi.
those. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I personally like the whole game. The epilogue's a bit too long, but it's good.
I don't like the epilogue that much, because I don't like the final scene. And I'll talk about it in a bit. But the intermission, the stuff with like every character, like the one with McBurn was really good. I really like the finale, trying to prove like everybody couldn't like fight everyone else. And what was the other part? Um, Reen and yeah, and I like I just like playing as old characters, and you'll see like my bias towards 4 because of that. Um, but yeah, how did you explain your thing about the Lloyd and Reen thing?
Oh, I don't want to. No.
What?
I forgot what I said. I don't even know, dude.
Like you said, like the parallels between
Fuck.
Reen and Lloyd, and what was it? Dude, I can't believe we're
You
doing
know
this
what?
again.
Dude, like I just did it, dude. I don't want to.
Hold on. I'll try to explain it, and you can
Ah.
tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay, you got this.
Like there was like the many parallels between
God
Reen and
damn it.
Lloyd, but there was the one where like Lloyd is like more, has more like conviction, where like Reen is more like Renful, depressed, and like he doesn't have like a direction, and he wants to be more like Lloyd. And then I mentioned that Lloyd, and Reen, or wait, I mentioned that I think it would have been kind of cool to see like Reen try to emulate it, and then he would emulate it, and he'd become an asshole, and then like his students would be like, "Wow, he's kind of an asshole," and then like it
Oh
takes like
well.
the finale, the final part, to not be as much there, and
Well,
and then I mentioned in two. For two, like, oh yeah, I mentioned for three and four, you can make it into like a separate story, or you can make it into like just the second year with like a couple of added students, so that way like you don't lose old class one, and like you can develop them more, but you also have like new characters, because obviously that's like what you need and stuff. Um, Adding more characters, right?
I mean, yeah,
LMAO.
right. Like, yeah. Oh,
But
I honestly think
but
like,
we add too many characters for new class 7 in 3, and and then we talked about 3, and then you said the Millium. Oh wait, not Millium. Altina, the operative thing, right?
yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What were you gonna say
It was
before,
like,
Neil?
well, no, I think I was just what?
You were gonna mention something before I cut you off.
Oh no. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. And then what were you gonna say before I just cut you off? Hello?
No,
Oh, you're
oh
just
no, I guess I'll just no. I'll just say like I was basically just saying, yeah, like basically that's just what I said. Like, they're operative going to like different. Basically, it plays out the same way Cold Steel 3 plays out. You go to each new location, rest and half of everybody. You meet old members of old Class 7, which in this scenario would just be Class 7. There wouldn't be a new Class 7, and then the game would play out basically the same way it does in the original.
yeah. And then I thought it would be really cool that you would have like more scenes with like Claire and Lecter and
Yeah.
Millium before, which would make her actually, it would make her death a lot more emotional.
Oh, Milliam?
Yeah.
I feel like how do you not already like Milliam? Like
No,
you had two
no, no,
games
no, no,
with
no,
her.
no.
Like it's like
But it's
how
like,
I feel like if you're
but like when she does like go, it's like not. I don't know if it's like as impactful. But like if you spend like a lot more time with her, cause like I don't. I mean, I don't know how her relationship like with Areen actually was.
I feel
Um.
like, well, did you do her bonding events in Colson 1 and 2?
No.
No, well that's why.
Oh. Oof.
That's why.
Well, that's the problem with bonding
Yeah.
events, which we did actually talk
I
about.
know.
I forgot.
Dude,
Right,
like
we talked
no,
about bonding events where there are problems and flaws with them, but some of them are like really good, and maybe should actually just you should just be able to see them in the main story. Just saying.
or like her or like just don't make them like limited on your first playthrough. How about just do that? Like I feel like that would alleviate a lot of the problems.
True,
That you
definitely.
can't see everyone's like if no one is gonna complain about watching these scenes. It's just that
True.
if I have to play the game again to see them, it's like what the fuck. Like I'll do it, but most people would not. They're not. It's like long games. Don't do that.
True. True.
Just like, dude, it should just be unlimited from the get go. I shouldn't have to earn that shit, bro.
Okay. And
Uh,
then yeah, but then yeah, we talked about that, and then I mentioned if you really just want to be lazy, um, you could just add you could just for 3 and 4. You could just add those two characters in one and chapters 1 and 2, being Ash and Muse. So that way their
yeah.
characters actually and like you could explain them a bit more to lead into what they do instead of just making them kind of random.
Meh,
And that's where we left off.
I guess. Because I think we kind of wrapped up 3. Because then you asked me what are your overall thoughts on Cold Steel 3.
I
I
I
think
wasn't
that's.
I wasn't really listening. I was interrupted.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
So,
what were your thoughts
should
on
I?
like what do you
Oh,
like
right.
about Cold Steel 3, and what did you not like about Cold Steel
Right.
3? So explain.
Well, so like the main thing is to say that despite all the stuff that we were like saying, oh, we could like change or whatever, I actually still love the game as it is. It's a super good game. One of my favorite games in the series, and one of my favorites in the art. It's super good. Um, and like I don't know, I just love like how well the pacing is fantastic in this game. The pacing is really good. It's just nonstop. It's really good. Like for a Kiseki game, obviously, not for like in general, just for the series. It's a fast paced game. Like it's like Cold Steel 1, but faster, and it's like that's pretty cool. The smaller cast is nice. Um, you know, yeah, I guess like the new characters are good. I like all of New Class 7. They're all great. Super likable. LT is my favorite. In terms of what I don't like, I don't know. There really isn't much. It's all pretty good. I would have loved to see more of old Class 7, but that's basically it. It's really good. Story's good. Crossbow section is great. It's good stuff. All of
I
that.
really like I really like what do you call it? Like I definitely think a smaller cast is good, but I think that the way they handle a bigger cast like they did was how they did it in Sky, which was you would just be introduced to characters in piecemeal instead of like just
Right,
adding nine
but
new
like
characters, 10 if you want to count Sarah, like
But like my thing is like
immediately.
that doesn't work with Cold Steel though because like Sky was an adventure, like they're going from place to place, like literally. But this is like a school setting, and it just doesn't make sense. Like it just doesn't work with that setting, you know. So like I get why they didn't do that. Like that's not like the solution to all problems. Do it like another thing did it. Like I don't think that works here
And I
because
understand.
of
No,
that.
no, you can't do that. I'm just saying, like, it just works better how you do it. You doing it that way.
Like I think like introducing all the characters at once inherently is not a problem. It's not bad. And it's like I think they do a decent job. They do a good job with Cold Steel or like old Class 7. Like they do a solid job. I think if they just spent all four games focusing on those characters rather than just two, it would have been a lot better. But that's not what happened. Instead, in three, they just were kind of replaced with the new cast,
I
and
remember.
that's kind of and then they get development again at four at the end of the series, and that's just like why,
Well, I remember when
why
we.
not just make them main characters the whole
Yeah,
time?
like I remember
Yeah.
when we talked about them. At first. Like when we talked about them. I'm trying to word this correctly. When we talked about um them being when we talked about like old class 7 and new class 7, um I remember, what was it, you said something, I think I just forgot what it was. Like when we would talk about it, it was like you explained like why they were all there, or like why you needed all of them. Like you needed Kurt there to,
Oh,
because of the Cedric
oh, yes.
stuff, and you need Yuna there
Yeah, yeah.
um for
Yeah, yeah. Because
Crossbell.
each character, yeah, each character, aside from just being a character, their own person, is also a lens to view a different aspect of Erebonian life,
Which is why Old
or
Class
like a
7
different.
was made, or like why we had each member of Old Class 7.
Yeah, each one of them is also brings a new like a different perspective on Erebonia in some way, basically. Whether it
Yeah.
be them being a commoner, being the son of a reformist, being one of the head nobles, or being an outsider. That's kind of like yeah, that's like that's another role that those characters play in expanding
Um
upon Erebonian culture
I
and
just think that
society.
they could have done it. I mean like cuz my thing is like I understand, like I mean, yeah, like I just don't, I don't know. I mean, it's just, to me 3 is just a bit lackluster because I don't think the characters like a lot of the characters outright like scream like they needed to be in it. I think that um like I think that like Muse, like she ends up being important. Like we were explaining her character pretty much. Like she ends up being important, but like kind of for the wrong reasons, almost.
Or like, yeah, and maybe not the best way, but
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And I think that okay, and I think that and I think that um Ash could have also used a bit more development. Like I think at least him being in chapter 1 to just get his vibe would have been really good. I think that however, I mean like how you solve the crossbell stuff is you just go the crossbell and you just have more interactions with the people of Crossbell, not really appreciating the
okay.
people
So,
of
so this is a,
Erebonia.
this is a, this is actually another thing I had thought of. I actually just forgot I said this,
What?
or like I had thought about it. Was so like one of the things that I thought would have been cool to put into Cold Steel 3 was actually have more instances where you play as like the Crossbell gang, essentially, just the SSS, to like see their perspective rather than see it from like Ereboni or like Ween's perspective. I think that would have been cool, which could maybe lead to to another like a rematch essentially at some point in 3. I think that would have just been cool
Yeah.
in some way, like, or like just it could even play out the same story that was like the birdcage and all that stuff in Crossbell, but like you get to like play as like Blade and stuff. I thought that just would have been
Yeah.
a cool thing.
But they made the game so long in and
Cold
itself.
Steel 3,
Yeah.
yeah, the game's pretty long.
Which
It
also probably
is.
would have been resolved if you A made it a second year or B did the operative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, the operative thing. Oh no, what I meant or B.
Look, I feel like the game doesn't need to be shorter though. Like, I don't think the length is the problem.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's the quality of the content in it, and I think it's like, and it's
I
my.
don't know, but like, all right,
I don't think it's
I don't think the
weaker,
quality is bad though. Like, it's a good game.
but
It's
like
just
the
like,
quality in a character standpoint, in the character aspect, like a lot of the other stuff about the
yeah,
game, I'd say like it lacks in character and story. And
I would
to
I
me,
disagree on story as well, but I could definitely I do agree a bit with character. Like the characters are likable and like they Yuna, Altina, and slightly Kurt develop, but not much beyond that.
because like my thing is like yeah, like the way like I guess going back to what I was saying, the way that you can get across Crossbell without um Yuna is just interact have class 7 interact with members of Crossbell and them
Yeah,
knowing
or just play
their
as Crossbell
Crossbell.
members.
That's true.
Yeah,
And then I guess a
like
way to get around not having Kurt is probably to either have more interactions with Alphen for like a Cedric thing, or to have just more interactions with Cedric, which would actually probably be done if you did the operative thing. So that would completely cut out Kurt. But how they
yeah.
get to Ash and Muse with like the operative thing, I don't really know how.
I mean, you don't need Muse though.
You don't need
Ash
Muse.
though,
I don't know
Ash is a
how
bit
to
tough
get away
though.
with Ash, or how to do
Like I
Ash.
feel like the only person, like legitimately the only person I could feasibly think could replace him, like in that role of like at the end, is like Reen. Like that's it. That's all I got. Like I can't think of a single other
The
character.
only
And I'm
thing I
just
could
like, God
think
damn
of
it.
is maybe Reen does it, but
Uh
he was
huh. That's
going
like
for
basically.
Osborne, and what's his name goes for him instead. But what's his name basically says,
But
"Don't shoot him, shoot me."
yeah, I find it difficult to realistically put him in a situation where he'd want to
Because
kill
Reen
somebody.
would
I
not want to shoot
can't do
any.
it.
Like he probably doesn't wouldn't even want to shoot
No, he would not
Osborne.
want to kill. No, he definitely doesn't. So it's like I can't. I
So
can't do it. I mean, sure, you could be like it was just like Ash, where he had like that voice or something, you know. So he didn't do it of his own. He didn't like. Well,
kill
he
the
kind of did it. No, but
non-believers.
it's not enough though, because like Ash still hated like airborne royalty and stuff, or like Osborne. So it's like it still works for him. Like Reen doesn't hate him enough to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is difficult. This is Ash is
Um.
like the only character that's pretty difficult to like work around if you want to like do it that way. But anyway, you know what? Like let's move on from this. I think we should just go to Cold
Um.
Steel 4.
I guess I wanted to mention what I liked about it or disliked.
Oh yeah, true, true, true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess what I disliked about it was that we didn't go back to anywhere. But it made sense in 3 why we didn't.
No, yeah, we wouldn't do it in 3. Yeah, yeah, 3.
In
There's no way.
4
It
on
makes
the
no sense
other
to go.
hand,
We're not on
but
4 yet.
I don't like, I mean, I liked going to like more places in like in 1 compared to 3 because
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
cuz like 3 we were limited to some of these places, and I get there were multiple towns that you could go in. And that's great, but like I would have liked to maybe do it in piecemeal to make every place feel more important instead
But
of
like,
like instead
but
of
the
like
game's already like 100 hours, bro.
no, what I
If they
meant
did
is,
that,
but you could like shorten that by making each place feel like their own place. Like you have like a Parm chapter that's a bit shorter, and like a Sutherland chapter that's a bit shorter,
I
and
mean, at that point, you might as well just combine them, right?
I
I don't know. I
know,
feel like
and make them like feel like their own places, but like that would work really well. I don't know, in like a more covert mission type or operative type of thing instead of Reen being a teacher. I liked I think Randy was good. I think that like having like the teachers and like
yeah,
seeing
dude.
Aurelia and
That was
Michael, like I think the teachers
uh,
were really good, and I think that like I think the student part was but the students were kind
oh
of
yeah, actually, really, I thought the students in the branch campus were all really good, actually.
eh, kind of different.
I mean, like, did you talk to them and stuff,
So I
like a
also
bunch?
liked that
All
well,
right.
I don't know. I mean,
I
I
mean,
didn't
like, I'm
really
just saying,
like.
like, you can't be like, I don't like this character, but I also didn't interact with them. It's like, well, yeah, oh, no shit.
I interacted with some of them. I'm just like, it's like how I interacted with the members of the other classes. And like, I mean, like the classes in 1 and 2, and then like, I don't know. I guess. I like. I wish that. I mean, we have our secret. We have our bonus person of class 7 Tita, who is the best ever. Uh,
Of course.
um, truly the best. Should have actually just been a member. Uh, I don't know. I'm a sucker for Sky. What can I tell you? I
Yeah,
get that it's their
you are.
games, but like we didn't even add Muse and Ash until like chapter 3. So what do I know? Judge just gonna put that out there
Dude,
in the world. What?
yeah, no, nothing.
Yeah, so that's what I would like honestly, if you did like the lazy thing and just add them in chapter 1, just bonus add Tita, just do it for me. Uh
just, just, just for Kyle.
just for me, like Kondo, just like rewrite it. Just for me, just do it.
I don't
Uh
know, like not adding old characters into main character slots is one of the things that I respect and like
no.
about.
No, no, no.
The way Falcom
It's
does
super
things.
respectable. I just don't like it because I love Tita, and I think adding her in Sky or adding her there would have
Yeah,
just been good. And I really I liked I liked the part of the finale when you're just interacting with everybody and then like you finally have the interaction with Osborne. Like that's what I wanted 3 to have, more interaction between Reen and Osborne. And I get that like I guess Reen and like I get that like Reen would have like probably doesn't really want a relationship with his father.
yeah. He doesn't really think of him as his dad. To be
but
honest.
but I think he should have tried to at least get a gist of who he was or what made him become the man he is.
I don't know, but like that's kind of what 4 is meant for anyway. So it's like it doesn't make sense to do it in 3. If I'm being honest.
But it makes sense more to do it in 3 and then like
No,
try
I
to
think
stop him in 4.
I
Although
don't know, dude.
no, you go.
I don't
Just
know.
say
I was
what
just
you're gonna
saying.
say.
I think it's honestly better in 4, like putting it in 4 than in 3.
That's fair. I think to each their own.
Yeah.
But we could talk about and then I also liked that they finally made Gaius relevant. God, it took them millennia for Gaius.
Mm. Wait, what?
It took them millennia for Gaius
Oh.
to make him like good Pog. And then, but let's talk about 4. So unlike you, I actually really liked Act 1.
Of
Um,
course, you 4,
yeah,
dude. That is like, dude. That act is so bad, dude. I don't understand how. Please explain. I,
because
I don't get it.
because it needed to be about a new class 7 trying. Okay, I don't like the fact that we have to quote unquote save people again. Or we have to recruit people again, I'm not the biggest
There's only
fan of
two
that.
people, bro.
I know, but like
Like,
I mean like what I
bro.
like about it is like it gives those characters development that they poorly needed in 3, that they like desperately needed. Like Kurt's actually like I mean he's tolerable instead of just being a second Laura. Um
I mean, no.
no, did he? Oh, goodbye, Neil. Um I didn't kick him because he didn't disagree with me in about Kurt. Like I don't even have that power. Like we're in like a private call. Like I can't just like kick him. It's like right click on his thing. No, it says remove friend, block, show
Here, what
non-video
just happened?
participants. I
'Cause
don't
I got
know.
removed from the call.
How did you get removed from the call?
I don't know. I swear I didn't touch a thing.
And I swear I didn't touch a thing. I thought you
Because I
froze
was talking.
again.
No, no. Like literally, like I just got. It said like click to join. I'm like what? Oh, like what the heck?
Anyways, what I was saying, like I said, like I think Kurt's more tolerable. I think it gives Altina time to like truly process what was going on, and like
hmm
I think it makes Yuna actually likable. I think what it does terribly is Muse. I think Muse's whole character is not that good in it, but I really like I like
When
Ash's part. I think Ash's part
oh, dude, Ash is so
so
good
much
in this game,
sense.
dude.
So
So
much
good.
sense, but like the
No,
whole Muse thing, like I really don't get. Like I think that
yeah.
like again proper explanation and leading up to it would have actually made it tolerable.
I don't know. Like okay, so
I
okay,
never said
so
likable. I said tolerable.
this is the thing. Like the reason I don't. So it's like it's a few reasons why I don't like Act One. I think the biggest thing. Okay,
Also, we should have
thing
just kept
number
Randy the
one.
whole time instead of just for the one part. Just gonna put it out there.
No, dude, I'd rather have members of old class 7 than Randy.
Again, to each their own. I just really like Crossbell and Sky. So
No, I also like those games, but I just feel like
no,
it's
no,
not
but
their
I have
game.
a
It's like
bit
just
more of a bias than you do. So you know.
that's true. I don't really have a bias towards any arc. I like all of them. So like for me, I'm just like no. Like it makes sense that they kept him in the beginning and then took him out later on and then brought him back later on. That makes more sense to me
It
because
makes
like
so
putting him
much more
in.
sense, but I'm just like, oh, but Randy.
But Randy,
Um,
uh,
and then like, okay, so yeah, keep explaining. Just explain why you don't like Act One.
oh right. So like okay, I don't like it. For the thing number one. Like okay, what a really okay. I I wasn't that close with. I didn't feel that close to New Class 7. So that part alone doesn't work for me.
I
Like
mean, you know
it
how
doesn't
I
feel
felt about New Class 7.
right.
Like
But
I hated that.
also,
I hated some of them. Like I said, I mean, I still hate Kurt, but
yeah.
you know.
But like even though like just the stuff that I had to do to go get them, like just, oh, go to this town. Okay, cool. Now there's like a thing in this other area close to this town. Go over there. Okay, cool. All right, now go to this town or this like stop area.
Okay,
Cool. All right,
okay.
now
I
you're here.
understand from like a what is it?
Like it takes so long, and then the payoff is like I don't give a shit, dude. Like oh my god. Like okay, Ash's thing is cool. I like Ash's thing, but like I don't know, like when you're saving when you're like collecting a class 7 in Cold Steel 2, like okay, because okay, the reason why I think Act 1 of Cold Steel 2 is better than Act 1 of Cold Steel 4 is because like it feels like we're doing this for like a real purpose, right? Like because like like they say like okay, like listen, the
But you're
goal.
doing that because they want to get Reen back as a whole class. And you're
No.
doing and you're
I
doing the
don't know.
stuff in
Let me
Act
finish. Let
1
me
so
finish.
that way you could get Crow as a class.
No. Let me finish, and then I will address that.
Okay.
Okay, but like, here's the thing. In Cold Steel 2, right? Like you're doing this. Okay, because here's our goal. I want to because like Reen, you know how badly he wants to have his friends back because you know what they mean to him by the
Yeah.
end of Cold Steel 1, right? It's very clear. They're the ones basically keep like like they're kind of like the foundation on which he stands on. So
The
like you know
foundation
how
of
much
you
it
of the
means
youth.
of what?
Be the foundation of our youth or whatever it is.
Uh, foundation of the world.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. Just go
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Anyway, right? So so you through Reen can feel like that emotional connection of like man I like we've got to see our friends again. Like this is like I have to reunite Reen with the rest of Class 7. Like I've got to do this. Like this is personal for him. Like this, right?
So
But
then why
then
wouldn't that
like
be the case for Reen
no.
with them with their
What?
instructor?
No. Okay. Right?
Okay.
No. I know that. I know that. Right? But like
Okay.
in Cold Steel 4, right? All right. Because
Mm-hmm.
all right. All right. What annoys me is that those scenes like they don't carry like the same weight
True.
as the like the reuniting scenes in Cold Steel 2. They just don't because we don't see like 'cause again like every time like Reen meets up with a new member of Class 7 like he's just like oh my god this is incredible, right? It's just like if you like I don't know I think like you can it's just easier like with like new Class 7 it just doesn't feel like they're that close like at least from like the player perspective you understand why Reen is so close to all these people because he spent time with all of them and stuff like that through bonding
And I
events and
think that
whatever
that's
throughout the games which
and I think that's kind of the problem with not spending like as many months with new class 7 as old class 7. Like I think like
right
the three
but
months, the
like
one
that
months with Ash and Muse, and
mm-hmm
like I
and that's the
definitely
thing
think
so
that's a
the two people
detriment
you're getting
on, but that's
yeah
not a detriment on the characters. I think it's a more of a detriment on the writers.
Right, right. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm saying like it's just not compelling. Like it's those like that whole thing, like none of that is compelling to me because it's just like I don't feel anything. I have no emotions. I'm just kind of like cool, I guess. We'll get them. We might as fucking well. I don't know, dude. Like Muse and Ash are the two characters that in three I just but I'm not like I don't feel any kind of connection to. Like I honestly that to me that's true for the entire cast other than Altina. I love Altina. That's it.
For
So
me,
it's
well, for
like
me, like the thing is like
no,
I'm not like a main character type of person. Like I know you are more of like a main character type of person. Like I know you really like because when we talk about One Piece, you're like one of your favorite Straw Hats, Luffy, right?
um, I guess I don't really have a favorite Straw Hat if I'm being honest. I just
Okay.
kind of like them all as a collective,
And
you know.
I'm not like really a person who views myself in the eyes of the character I play, which is why the newer Fire Emblems don't
Well,
entice me as much.
all right. Well, I think you have a bit of a misconception. I don't think like that either. But when I say from a player perspective, I don't necessarily mean from my perspective. I just mean from someone who's holding the control and seeing what is happening, like to them. Because you see, like read, you see his thoughts, you get it. It makes sense to you because, like, oh, I get why this character cares about these people,
Um
right? Whereas you
like
don't
I
really
think
see
that
Class
in
Seven or
okay,
what?
like what I was going to say is I think new class 7 like why I could see why they care about Reen. I don't know why Reen would really care about them other than Altina. Cuz like they're all kind of shitheads to him. Other than Kurt who's like
I mean,
actually nice to him. Like but Yuna's kind of a shithead to him for like the first two. Ash is like not
right?
really
But
that
no,
nice to him and
well, no, because like no, Reed spent enough time with them that you can understand that like these kids aren't like he knows for example Ash like he knows that Ash is a good person and he does genuinely like Reed like he does it's just he's bad at showing it. That's just who he is, you know. And like same thing with Yuna. Like by the end of three, like like they have an understanding. Yuna is not like a dick to him by the end of three at all. So that's not really a problem.
but
It's
like
understandable why
my
Reen
I guess like my
like
question is now is what is the difference between the weight between what they did in one and what they did in two and what they did in
like
four? Because to me
like okay, so
personally, honestly, acts one and two, to me at least, for both games are the same, and I don't like either one of them. Or well, I don't like
right,
that, but I like Act One of four because it gives a better character to characters I don't particularly like or I didn't like in three. Like I actually like
right, no, no,
four,
okay,
Yuna. I like three, or
right, right, right.
can tolerate Kurt. I think Kurt gives more of a like to me more of a human
You know
side.
what's funny too?
What?
Yeah, go ahead. You
Okay,
finish. You
I was
finish.
gonna say like more of a human side to Kurt because I think that Kurt is all about his swords and his training and being better, and I'm just like, that was really
No, no,
Laura.
no.
I didn't
He
really
always
want
had
I
that.
for me I didn't want that out of him. Like I wanted what we got in four, which was the thing about Cedric because that's why he's more important.
I don't know, like, but he had that since three though. Like, I mean,
But
did you do all his bonding events?
it was like very much there in
No, because
four.
in three, a lot of it was him trying to, like, him feeling the need to rise up to the expectations of his family, and he had to learn that, like, even though you're a part of that, it's okay. Like, you can just be you. You don't have to worry about what your brother did or your uncle did or whatever. Like, just be Kurt Vander,
But I guarantee you,
and then that
he's the
trend.
person people had the least bonding did the least bonding events with.
I don't know. I think Kurt is a good character. Like, I don't know. It's funny because I think I might like New Class 7 more than you do, despite me complaining about
Oh
them.
no, you definitely like New Class 7 more than I do because I just don't like Kurt, but you like all of them.
I do. I do.
Um,
No, but like, okay, so all right, no, you can finish, and then I'll
and
continue.
then like I really like that like Because I think the goal for him, like, really should have been, like, that, Evander proves their worth when their job was to protect the royal family.
Right.
I'm assuming Vander's dad with or Mueller's dad, Mueller and Kurt's dad with the king, Oliver and Mueller, whose relationship we see, and his relationship with Cedric was almost ripped. Like they had like a relationship before Cedric became a dick, and they sort of kind of got that back and forth, which I actually really liked. And my thing is like I think Muse's a bit more annoying in 4 in my opinion. I think in 3 it's more tolerable. But I think
Okay.
Ash as a character in 4 is really good.
Yeah.
But Altina, like, we don't even have to speak about it.
She does, yeah. Perfect the way she is. I love her.
Like her progression throughout the whole entire games
she's so
make
good.
so much sense compared to everyone else.
Well, she's just adorable.
And that's 2, 3, and 4, not just 3 and 4.
Yup, very true.
And it's just like I don't know what it was, I guess overall, like going into more of an overall thing. But like how did you get from writing the characters of Sky and Crossbell to what we got in Cold Steel, which isn't bad by any means. It's just not as good, and it made some characters feel irrelevant when they shouldn't have. Like you had Gaius in 1 and 2, Eustace in 3.
Okay, so like that's kind of like how I feel. Like I don't think so. Like on an individual level, certain characters are as good as characters from Crossbell or Sky, and then other characters are not. Like it's not even throughout the entire cast.
And I honestly feel like
some
as
characters are great and others are not.
Well, I think as a group, I think they didn't do it as well as like what they did with the SSS.
I do agree.
And I think that
I think like Cold Steel, the cast of Cold Steel.
What I think Cold Steel,
part, not every character, is like in between the games and like, the other games. It's like it's on an individual level. They're like it's just kind of in the middle of both games. It's kind of like how I feel about it.
I think it's the weakest, in my opinion. I think that like even like there are like some of the characters just feel so irrelevant, especially after the addition of New Class 7. Sometimes like in 3, and then in 4 like you shaft New Class 7 for Old Class 7, which
because like what kind of like what they did, it's like they put all of like the character development and all that stuff, character writing, in the bonding event. Took them out of the main plot. So
and that's
in Sky, right? For example,
yeah,
all of the character moments are in the main story.
Yeah.
But in Cold Steel, all of them are in optional bonding events.
But I think they felt like it was going to be too long, which I think wasn't going to be the case. I don't think it would have been.
No, I think they just wanted to be like Persona, and they wanted to do bonding events. I think that's what happened. And
well, don't they normally follow the trends somewhat of like...
They do. And like in 2013, Persona was pretty relevant. So they were like, yeah, let's just do Persona. Let's just do Persona.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of even seeing it with Kuro, cause he mentioned the system in Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was the hot shit this year.
Yeah. Like, and look, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a really good thing.
No. I think it might be the best gameplay wise, because they have been progressing throughout the whole entire games with gameplay. Like Sky 1, absolutely the worst to play, but
for sure.
But 3 and 4, on a gameplay perspective, are the funnest.
So godlike, dude. They're so good, dude. So good.
Like for Cold Steel, and like, but what Sky does in story and characters is what, in my opinion, Cold Steel lacks. But like not lacks in a bad way, but like but not like
I don't know, like
lacks like
too.
how Kingdom Hearts lacks in it,
Right.
but
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
but it lacks compared to the other two, in my personal opinion. And even though
Mm-hmm.
I do have an attachment to some of the characters, it's like even though me and you agree Lloyd is the worst written out of all of our main characters, or he's our least liked. Um, I still like him better than a lot of the like some of the other characters we get in Cold Steel, and same with um the rest of the SSS or the rest of the Bracer Guild and plus editions. Um, and like story wise, I just think that like Cold Steel was very ambitious, which isn't a bad thing, but it could have been better. Be-
Yeah, I do think a bit of their ambition got the better of them at times because they wanted to do a lot of things, and it didn't always work out the way they intended, or like, yeah, I don't know, I
yeah,
don't know,
and I think that like it
I don't
made
know.
the story lack a bit, to me compared to like
I
the god that is the crossbell games we don't have in America.
Right, like in my opinion, like I think like overall, just plot wise, Crossbell that shit's so that's like it's so good, it's so
And I
good.
think it
But like,
helped because it had a smaller cast.
right, well, I
Um,
think I think Sky is does a better job with their characters. I think characters is where Sky shines more than like any other aspect.
yeah. And I think
No,
like and I
yeah,
think
you
like
know,
and it's weird because I think most people like I mean I can't speak for everybody, but I think that a lot of people like play these games or would play JRPGs a lot more for a story over like a gameplay perspective. Not to say gameplay can't be bad or
right.
can't
Well,
shouldn't
well,
be bad
what I was gonna say is like,
shouldn't be good, but
right.
or like it's
Well, what I
always
was
gonna
gonna
be
say is like,
bad. But
yeah,
I'm saying like at least me personally, I play those games for a story. These were a bit weaker than how what I would have liked. Um, but actually, I don't know how to word this. I believe, however, Cole. Okay. What was I just talking about? I lost my train of thought. I think that, um, like that being lacking, and to me saying that Cold Steel's the best gameplay wise so far. It's a compliment, but I would have preferred it to stay a bit more like Crossbell and Sky and get a good story out of it than what we
I
did
don't
end
know,
up getting.
like I feel like I don't know, like I don't think Cold Steel has like a bad story, to be honest. Like I think it has a good
Well, it has a
story. It's
flawed
just
story. It's good, but it's flawed.
short, short. I do agree with that, but like I don't think it's any worse than the stories of Crossbell or Sky. I just think that it's less consistently told. Like it's told with less consistent goodness. If that makes sense.
But that's
You
what
know, like,
makes them worse than.
well, right, yeah, that's why I do think it's like, but when it works, it's like, it's still really, really good. So like that's why, like, I do think it is the weakest out of the three. I totally agree with you. But like, I've never like a lot of people say like I see a lot like, oh, a Cold Steel story is just bad or it's just not good, or whatever. And I'm just
I
like, I
mean,
don't
but we
see it.
have
Like
to remember,
to me, the
but if
games
you
are
only
good.
play Kiseki, of course you're gonna say it's bad. Like if you play like a game like let's say if we play Kingdom Hearts or if you
Oh, sure.
play
But like even no, even when I'm saying I'm not comparing it to other JRPGs because like that's not really even fair. I want to be honest because like it's just not. I really am only thinking about just in terms of other Kiseki games, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, like again, I totally agree with you that it's by far, it's definitely the weakest of the three, for sure. Of the three arcs we have so far, but like, I don't know, like I just, I don't know, I don't see it as like a bad game. I just think kind of, you said earlier, like just a flawed game. Like it has plenty of problems, but it also has a lot of really really good stuff. Like, you know,
Like,
some like
I
the,
think
you
it's
know, the,
a lot of
so
my
like,
problems with Gen 7 of Pokemon going into this tangent that is not going to last us long because
really,
I think like when we have a lot to talk about with Pokemon, we but this we kind of I
yeah,
don't really, but I think gameplay wise, it's one of the best, and I think it's the same with Generation 8. Like they just progressed to be better. Well, except with taking out Mega Evolution, I think that was the worst thing that they could have done. Um, I think that like gameplay wise, they were great, but I think story wise, they lacked, and I think that like Cold Steel lacks and like it lacks that good consistent story that we're used to, and it's kind of because they wrote a bunch of characters in and they did all of these bonding events where like what's canon and what's not, and like when Elise does this, but I hooked up
yeah,
with
it's pretty
what's her
messy.
name, it's very flawed, and um so and I think like overall that it doesn't help, especially with everything was the curse's fault, and like you know and like
Well, like, I don't know, I don't see that bit as bad as, I don't think it's as like, that part is as bad as it I thought it used to be. I've kind of softened my position on that, but like, you know, I do I do agree with you for the most part. Like I kind of agree with you, yeah. But I don't know.
um
Like it's flawed but not bad. It's kind of like where I'm at.
and
I
like
don't see it as a bad.
but like when you're a fan of this series, you expect
Yeah,
god tier
absolutely. Like,
stuff, so when
yeah,
people
basically the bar
complain
that Falcom has set for themselves is something that you expect them to continuously
and
meet.
like but
You
that
know, to use
bar
it.
but because of these games they didn't reach that bar for a lot
Yeah,
of people
that's
including
what.
myself.
Yes, that's why these games are definitely the most divisive out of. And it's like, like not obviously none of the games are perfect. They all have things that aren't great about them, or like things that like even if me personally, I have problems. But like, Coastal just has more, and it also, to be fair, it also has it had 4 games to do that rather than 2. You know, but
And like they also had
'cause up
development
until this point,
problems.
yeah, also that. And it's like I'm not trying to make excuses for Falcom or whatever, because the writing that part that's no matter what, that's just what it is, right? But like, like what was I saying? Shit, off my train of thought. Um, yeah, but like Cold Steel, unlike every other arc, it was not. Instead, it was double the length. Not all the other arcs end in 2 games essentially. Like, so it's like, like it was just a lot of things went into making it end up the way it was.
And
It
I
was
think
definitely poor
honestly if
writing,
they
but there
tried
was a lot
just
of other.
developing it for either the PS3 or the PS4 and not for the PSP, I
Hmm.
think it
Vita, but yeah.
could have ended or what the Vita.
Hmm.
I think that it could have probably turned out how they wanted more.
Yeah, probably, probably. Like it doesn't excuse the things that happened since then, but like those things did not help for
Yeah.
sure. And it's like, the whole curse thing. I don't, for the most part, mind the curse in that game. I don't mind it as much because it's like, all right, most of the time the way they explain it is that is this I know this wasn't right. Where it's like, it's the person's innate want to do this bad thing that is getting them here, and then it's just like the curse is just kind of like just pushing them a little bit, just giving a bit of a nudge, which I like. I don't mind that. If it just told me that it was making them do bad things, they didn't want to do it, that's a problem. That's not good. because now the characters have lost their agency, and that is not good writing. Unless, like, not in this situation, it isn't. That can be okay, but not in this one. So it's like,
But like, and
you know,
then like, I mean, Osborne was completely changed by the curse.
right. But like the things he did, he still did because he wanted to do them. He thought that that was the way to solve the problem, to solve Erebonia's curse. That was what he wanted to do. The curse didn't make him, invade Liberola, do all these other things. It didn't make him, because Osborne was just that strong. He could just be himself essentially. He could just be himself, but despite having Ishmelga like in him essentially. Like, dude, what a badass. You get the point,
Um,
you know.
and I
Also,
think
like,
that
another thing I think.
like, oh wait, you keep
Oh, go ahead.
going.
Oh, okay. No, I was just gonna say like another thing I absolutely love about Cold Steel in general is like the world building in this arc. This like, oh, dude. Oh, it's so good. Oh, the lore in Erebonia was god tier, dude. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, I
Yeah, I
love
think the
learning about
lore is really good. I think that yeah, because well, it gave us the most lore out of all of the games
it. Yeah,
compared to
yeah, for sure.
like Crossbow gave us nothing.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it's just so good, dude. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I just think
I love the lore, dude.
but they could give us the most because that's like that was the halfway point pretty much.
Yeah,
And
and
like
like
and Sky
Erebonia,
they
like
couldn't
that
give
was,
us like a lot, or Crossbow
right,
they couldn't give
because
us
it's
a
like the
lot because
beginning.
there's so much they still have to keep hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So I think lore is only going
Basically,
to get
oh,
better and better.
yup,
Um,
I agree. But like that doesn't take away the fact that that's just, is some good shit.
I believe that yeah. I think that um, I really didn't like act. Well, like I like Act One. I hate Act Two. And I only like Act 1 because it makes characters I hate it, like, I didn't like into characters I kind of like, or like.
I don't
Or,
know, like because like yeah.
um, I think the Fragments is the best part of the whole game, period.
Oh yeah, I like Fragments. Fragments is super good.
I
You know what
think
though? Like
that,
another thing, and
I think that being able to at least get Reen back to his senses, maybe what I would have done instead was have all of the character, maybe have all of the this is gonna sound weird. All of the characters being Aaron, right? That's the name of the village, right? Aaron.
Aaron, yeah,
Okay. Do all of that stuff, and the prologue is getting Reen back, and then having Act One be you saving everybody cause yay, I guess, and then Act Two being Act Three, which is actually like after act like what was Act Two like leading into everything on the ship afterwards is so good.
yeah, it is, it is.
Um, yeah.
So just like so one thing, like one more thing about Act One was like the whole like singularity thing. I was not into it, dude. I was not into it. I'll be honest.
I think it's
I
things
had to I had to
that
look for
could
too
have
many
been.
fucking singularities, dude.
I think that it was just something to make the game longer, which was bad.
It's not
I
fun.
think
I did
maybe
not enjoy
I think
it.
the only thing maybe that you need is like I think Muse should have just been with you in the first place instead of like
Yeah,
leaving. I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
maybe
I don't know.
getting Ash would have been a lot better, and that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But you know what? Okay, but like also some other thing. So let's go to Act Two now. Like I actually, alright, so I don't. All right, so Act Two.
Hate Act 2.
The positive is that you get old class 7. That's nice. But like, my God, oh my God, dude, it's just a retread of Coastal 2 Act 2, and like, it's not that fun. It's not that you could that whole thing could just not be in it, and it'd be
What,
the same
Act
fucking
2?
game. Yes,
Yeah.
just like getting those people, like that's just not like, and there needed to be more than that. Like we need to be doing more impactful things for it to have felt worth it.
True.
to me. But Act 3 is basically Act 2 but better because you're doing a similar thing of like saving certain people, like Lisa's mom or something like that, right? But like it has actual impact on the plot.
But you
I'm
weren't
like,
even like
yes,
saving her. You were just like it
well,
had
yeah,
something to do with
like
the story.
right. That's what I meant, right? But it was like the same type of thing of like going to somewhere and like getting whatever, like that. It was so much better. Like if that was just what Act 2 was, that'd be so much better. That's not what happened.
Um
So like that's kind of like what I didn't like about it, but it was at least like
Act
it was
2 was
it went
pointless.
by quickly,
Yeah.
so it was fine. I didn't mind it. But then Act 3, fucking godlike, dude. Everything after Act 3 is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And I
Like,
think it
oh
does
my
it
god,
does like
it's so good.
characters justice. I think that
Yes, it does everything perfectly, dude.
I
It
think
just
the
does
only
everything
thing
perfectly.
I guess I didn't really think was like up there was I don't like how they the whole Duvaly thing cuz like it's like oh but you like Reen. It's like why does everybody have to like Reen? Like why?
Yeah, that's kind of annoying, but like at this point, I don't even I just kind of ignore it. I'm just like, what?
Um
I've just accepted that. I don't know. Like if it doesn't affect the
um
main plot in any way, I just like what
yeah.
it's like what
So,
just move on.
we now have okay, so I'm going to do this part quickly so we could just move on to other stuff. Um so because the rest of this should be easy, but overall cuz I think story and plot are the most important parts of like a JRPG in general.
Hmm.
I just think overall it was lacking, which just means it's good but flawed.
Basically,
Yeah.
like yeah,
Okay. So characters, favorite character and why?
my favorite character.
Of Cold
That's
Steel
definitely
introduced. It
yeah.
cannot be like we
Definitely
can't just say Oliver because like
right. Yeah.
that would be
Definitely
cheating.
right. Because then technically you could say like Estelle because she's in it. It's like no. No, for me definitely Reen. He's definitely my favorite character. I don't know because he's just got a relatable character arc and just character in general. And like I don't know, I just like him. That's kind of it. He's
Um
just like a
yeah,
good character.
I think Green like had like I don't like the fact Green had to go back up to like because like he was kind of like like doing good with like not having it and then everything just shattered when he found out like what's his name is his father.
Right, but like that's kind of like what I like about his character though. It's that like because in real life, like you don't usually just like do a thing and then you're immediately fine. Like if something happens, you might trip up again, make the same mistakes, and then try to get back up and just keep trying over and over again. Right? Like you don't normally just get over something in like a conversation. Right? So like that
Lloyd.
part is kind of what I like about his character. That's what I like about his character, though, is that it's not something that he can just do. He can't just get over it. Like he has to work through it himself. It's a problem with himself. It's not something that like he doesn't have to go beat
I
someone
just
else or
don't
something.
think
Like
he
no,
should have
it's
been as depressed as he was in 1 or 2. Like I just think he should have been like a bit more. I feel like he would have
well, I
tried to
don't think he
hide it
was.
a bit more.
Yeah, I don't think he's like depressed or anything. And like I think he is definitely not in a good headspace in Cold Steel 1 and 2, and it just deteriorates as the like throughout the games. Because he doesn't start out in a good place, but through all the stuff that happens at 1 and 2, and it just gets worse and worse until he ends up where he does at the beginning of 4.
Yeah, I
So like,
just yeah, I get it. I'm just not like that big of a fan of it.
yeah, that's fair.
And then least favorite character.
Favorite
Oh wait,
character.
never mind. I have to go.
Let's, what?
Oof, that's
Oh
rough.
right, yeah.
Duh. Okay, my favorite. I really like Crow. I think that's a
Right.
first. I really like. I think he is definitely he. I think has the most dimensions to him a bit. Like I think that
Hmm.
like it's not like the fact that like he helped Osborn in 3 calm Marine down was like, wow. Like, how did we get to that point? Um, I think uh Ash, I really like Ash. I think like
Yeah,
and he
Ash.
keeps like what he like kind of his like kind of values, I guess, if you want to call it that. You know,
Yeah,
like in 4, I really like I think Altina's a good character.
right. Yeah, I love Altina. If I
Um
got a second pick, it would have she would have been like third actually, probably second
Gaius
or
is
third.
my
Second or
favorite memeable character, but I think my favorite character overall, Sharon. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
shit.
My real one's Osborne. I think
Okay, yeah, that's a
Osborne
good one. That's a good
overall
one.
is my favorite character. I think that
Technically, he's not introduced in Cold Steel. Jokes on you.
you know what,
I'm
whatever.
kidding.
Anyways, anyways, I think that what I really like about him is
Uh,
the fact that like we have like real him, like that we get to see like in flashbacks, and we get Ishmelga him, which is kind of like a mix, and like I think that like it makes him like really interesting because it's almost like a part. It's like a fusion between the two, not just like a complete, you know.
I don't know,
Um,
cause like that Osborn, the Osborn when he still has like Ishmelga and stuff, like it's still 100% Osborn. He's not under any influence or anything.
but
It's
like it
just now
feels like,
at the end of 4, he doesn't have to worry about the things he had to worry about when he was that. So he can be just a normal dude. He can just chill. You know, it's
no,
like
but
that's
like
kind
the
of like the
thing is, I
difference.
feel like there is a bit of it because I feel like I don't know. I feel like a trait when you're like a father, or at least like because he really cared about Reen like at first,
Yes.
like his first
I mean,
five
he
years, and I
continued to
feel
do
like
so. He
not as
just
much. Like
didn't. He couldn't show it.
I feel like when he, you know, is him, like when I feel like the mixture, like Ishmelga Osborne, like I say that because he doesn't show like as much because like I guess I don't know how to explain it. Like when I notice like when you're a dad who, you know, actually like when a dad actually like gives a fuck, he's always like there no matter what in any situation. And it's very apparent like when you watch TV shows or movies, or like sometimes in like real life instances I've seen like that happen. Like I mean, for example, my dad was always there like when we had like graduations, and like when Casey had her musicals and like everything. Like I feel like a dad, you know, tends to like, unless they're just their personality wise, they just don't give a fuck, or they don't care like themselves. I don't know how to put it. Um like but he truly gave a fuck about Reen. Like I like but
Yeah.
like I feel like Ishmelga was just like, no, you have to throw that away because, you know.
Like I don't. I think with Osborne, it was less of. I think it was like less of Ishmelgood doing that and more of him saying that like he decided when he gave Reen to Teo that like like that's why he said like don't tell him that I'm his dad or whatever. Like no, like I like he like mentally like decided that like no, like he's like not my son. Like he's my son, but he isn't. Like I'm not going to act like he is. Like I'm going to keep a distance, and I'm not doing that. Like that's just not
But
what
like
I'm
dead
gonna focus on
him,
what I need to do.
but dead him did that, and they had like a father son moment, and I kind of almost cried.
Yeah, that was a great scene. It's because at that time he no longer needed to be like that. There's no need to do that. He didn't have any grand scheme he had to employ or something. He didn't. He was just he was already dead anyway. He was like I'm chilling now.
I just see it as a fusion because that's what he had to deal with. He had to cast like the care that he had for his family because he was a true family man,
Right, he was, and
and he had
he
to
sacrificed that
disown that. Like
for
it doesn't.
his goal,
A
to
person just
rid
normally
Erebonia.
doesn't do that without like some
I mean,
sort
yeah,
of
but
conflict.
like Osborn isn't a normal guy. He's just that's certainly not what he is. So like I feel like Osborn would that's something Osborn could do.
I just like see him like I just can't see him without like just wanting to have some sort of interaction with Reen like once he does truly finally reveal. So that's why I feel like the
Mm,
operative thing would have actually had us able to see that.
no, because like there's a reason because like here's the thing is like we know that Osborn does indeed like he wants to spend time with Rean. It's not like he doesn't care. Like he wants to like have his son, but he knows he can't and he shouldn't. So he doesn't because that's why he made the because like in like Cold Steel 2, I think it is, like Claire says to Rean that like the way we the Ironbloods see Osborn, like it's like we are like the kids that he could never have. That means even now he genuinely still cares about Reem. It's just he knows that that's not something that he gets to do anymore. He can't do that.
I
He
just
gave
thought maybe like I just like the operative idea and like that could have like led into him doing that, I guess.
mhm.
And like him maybe having more of an interaction with his actual dad to try to make like it more like, you know, I don't know how to put it. But yeah. Um let's go with least favorite character.
Least favorite character.
Yeah.
That's hard. I don't know. That's hard actually. I don't know. I like all the characters though.
Cuz I have one. I'll go.
Like okay, go.
I truly cannot just for the life and I don't first of all, honorable mention Cedric, hate him. Like actually like it's not like he's a poorly written character. He's great written character. I just find him to be an annoying prick.
Yeah, I mean yeah. That's kind of what he's supposed to be. Like they did a good job. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, they did, but I truly
Yeah.
cannot stand Elise in 3 like 3 and 4. I just can't do it. Like I mentioned like, I just
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just hope in Hajimari it's solved and it's like, oh, me and Patrick went on our first date and it's like, oh my god, progression. You don't
Yeah. I
actually
mean, if it
like your
makes you
brother.
if it makes you feel better, there's a lot less of that in Hajimari
Oh, thank
from what
God.
I've seen. So,
Oh, thank God, nutting.
um,
Um,
I don't know. Dude, I wish I don't. Dude,
anything?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Cedric too for the same reason
Yeah, that's fair.
because
All right.
that's all I got.
I think something to bring up before, because I think one thing leads to another. So I want to bring up this point first. I guess
Hmm.
we're moving on kind of sort of from characters as we're added from characters. I just want to say like something because like we've talked about it, we haven't not really mentioned it in videos. I think cause like a big thing with the community is Reen has a harem, and I'm not saying like
Hmm.
I'm saying Reen has a harem.
Hmm.
Okay, what I'm going to just say on the matter is that Reen himself, like you look at his most valuable trait. Let's do what Kingdom Hearts does for a second with Final Fantasy
Okay.
characters. We take
All
Reen
right.
at his biggest point. What do you think? What would you say is his biggest character trait?
Um, Probably like self-doubt.
Okay. Do you think a
Yeah.
person with self doubt? would have a fucking harem.
Obviously not.
I mean,
They don't have the
obviously, I mean,
confidence.
just
Reen
look at
doesn't.
Cold... I'm kidding. What I want to say about it, though, is I don't think Reen himself wants to have it. I personally believe the writers are horny as fuck and have decided Reen is going to have a harem because 1 and 2, I think they decided Elisa, but then they were just like, all right, let's just go gung-ho with it. And I'm just like, it doesn't...
Yeah.
It's a super creepy when it's like your students and your sister.
Oh, yeah, super bad. Not good. It's like,
I'm just saying.
Like, Falco, what the fuck were you thinking? What the hell were they on that one?
But, like...
4 is a fucking... I don't know.
I know you're on camp, he definitely doesn't, like...
Yeah.
I'm on the camp of the writers want... To me...
Right, but, like, to me, it's stupid to use bonding events to back that up. Like,
True.
if you could give me instances in the main story, I would agree with you. I would absolutely... But, like, there just isn't any. So it's like...
Okay.
What?
My only instance is, like, when they tease him in fragments... It sort of like acts as if like bits and pieces of like, oh, he's such a ladies' man, and we can't like anybody but Reen, and it's just like, don't actually write that part in.
I think you're reading a bit too much into it.
No, but it's like that one part like makes, but
that's not enough to be like he has a harem now. Like that's just not.
Okay. What I'm saying is he doesn't have a harem. It's that the writers write him to have a harem.
I get what you're saying.
And that was the one instance where they were writing it in, that they're just horny for him, for this one character to have this harem. And it's just like that one instance led to like all of these bonding events to be like, I love you, Reen Cold Steel. And it's just like, fuck, dude. I don't care.
Dude. Like, those aspects of them are not good. I mean, sure, I guess. But like, I don't know.
So like, you know, writers be horny, and like if we're just gonna act like, let's just say we act as if all of those are canon. Writers be horny. It's not Reen, it's the writers. Like,
you know, I mean, if they're all canon, that's like, it makes zero sense. But that's
it's all the writers. It's all the writers. All right, let's go with waifus. Who's your waifu in this game? And why?
Elisa, because she's the best character.
Fair, Pog.
I like her, dude. She's just like, she's got a great arc throughout all the game, and like she's hot. I don't know. That's it. That the two things come together, you know.
Mine's Vita. Anyways, let's move on. I'm kidding. No.
That's very good.
I mean, it's not a bad pick.
That's very good taste, dude. She's also one that yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, like for me it's Laura. I really like Laura. I think she's a compelling character and I think she's badass.
Alright, nice.
However, to move on, like because most people ship Reen with the person they like the most.
Yeah, I mean the most popular one in the Western fandom is Laura. That's just
true.
What it is.
However, to move on from this, I actually ship him with Elisa. So we get to our next part. Yay! So I came up with a list and I told Neil about this because I wanted to ship every single character in Cold Steel, which is physically impossible for a couple of reasons. First, for number one, being that some characters kind of are A. Well, I have a fourth. I have 4 of them, but 3 of them I wrote as I have examples.
So you have A, B, C, D. Oh, you mean okay.
Of like why they can. So first of all, so how I did this list was these are characters that were introduced in the game. So that does not include like a character like Lecter, who indefinitely is there, and like kind of is there because I mean we could talk about it, but I don't think there's a point when like the characters you would ship him with are kind of not in this game. At like this this arc at all.
I mean they make appearances, but they're not main characters.
And would have a pick whenever they spoke.
Incidentally,
No, you go.
Oh, okay. No, I was
Incidentally,
like, who do you ship Lecter?
I thought I was.
Chloe or Lucy?
I think you're Lucy and I'm Chloe.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. All
Because
right.
I'm gonna be on. Like I'm gonna be on. Like, because I can't see her with anybody else, and I feel like she's definitely a person by now after 4 year, 3 4 years
Uh,
of being
yeah.
rejected. She would have moved on.
Well, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah. So like you're like Chloe's probably gonna win because like she a main character, Lucy is not. But I'm
But not
like,
only that, but you could
I still
ship
want that
Lucy
to
with
happen.
her beta. What were you saying?
Like what?
Her beta?
With who?
What's his name?
Who?
The guy I can't remember
I
the
don't know.
name of.
This is why we can't ship her with him. This guy doesn't matter.
The guy that's not Jill and Hans. The guy that was in her
Oh,
grade, her
oh,
beta, her
oh, oh,
simp.
oh. Yeah, I
Him.
know who you're
Oh wait,
talking
we're okay.
about.
We're not on
That's
Twitch. Good,
lame
I
though.
could say that word. As
It's
lame as it
YouTube.
is, it's definitely happening because Lecter and Chloe are just. Oh, I love it. Anyways,
Uh,
so anyways, let me
I don't
just
really.
like say. Okay,
Yeah.
so these are characters that would have had a pick if you spoke to them in the form of an older game and didn't die. So like Fran, right? Like Fran is a character who has a picture, or
Uh,
or what's her name? The person you ship, the person that's with Randy,
oh, Muriel. Yeah.
Muriel. Those characters that you don't have to play as them, but they get a picture in the older games. Like,
Uh,
because if we
yeah.
did it in the way that like in the other way, I would have to start coming out of things from my ass. That would be like
Yeah, dude.
people from the second year. That would like from the second year you don't even talk to. That would be like people from the first year.
Yeah.
I can't do that, man. I can't do it. Also, I have a rule. You can't argue unless you have your own
Oh,
pair.
okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. Like I have to have like a rival pair to match yours.
Yep.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I like that. That's fair.
There are a few that I decided couldn't. So there are groups. So the first group are badasses that don't need no
Okay.
one. So that would be
Right.
Aurelia, Le Guin,
Yes.
Victor,
True.
Bardius, Olaf,
True.
Craig, Stahlritter.
Wait. Hold on. All right. So okay. So for Bardius and Aurelia, I may have some possible bad news for you on
Are
that.
they shipped?
So like in Cold Steel 4, like some of their dialogue, like if you talk to them,
Yeah.
like during Eventide, like it seems like Falcon might ship that in the future, and I'm like, I'm personally down with that.
No, I'm down with it. I
I don't know.
just didn't know if I was gonna like tread on water.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. It's true. If you talk to them, like Reen's like, oh, is this a thing?
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, he's like interesting. Yes, very interesting.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
Right?
I have Stahlritter, Zeno, and Leo, Vandyck, Vita, and
Yep.
Roselia.
Yeah. Bless you.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I decided for them. And I think that like, and I didn't add pairs we obviously know about, Elliot's sister and
Right. Or like
Nightheart.
Gaius and like Vivi or something. Or like does that
I
no,
think
this is
it's
not
Lind, not
confirmed I guess,
Vivi.
but
Oh, is it Vivi?
shit, you're
Oof.
right. Lind. No, you're Lind. You're right. It's
All right,
Lind.
cool.
Oh
Thank
like
God.
uh,
They're twins. It does, you know.
yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's right. It's not my
The
fault.
next ones are those that need to find themselves before you can ship them, which are Rufus and Claire. Not shipping them together, but shipping them with other
Right.
people.
Right.
Um,
Makes sense.
Even Michael you can add to this list.
Hmm.
It's kind of just people that
Although
you.
I don't think yeah.
It's people you kind of. They kind of need their time to figure out who they are, because Rufus, we don't really know what's going on. And Claire, like, was gonna kill herself. So.
Yeah.
Like even Lecter, like to an extent, like I don't know if you would have actually gone with it, like actually gone through with
No,
it.
not time. Not right now. I think he needs time.
Yeah. That's fair. I think all the time he needs, though, is going to probably be dealt with in Hajimari. I don't know if Claire's is.
I don't know. Probably not. I don't even think it'll be done in Hajimari, to be honest.
Last one
I think
is
they
they're
need.
too precious to ship, ship for now, which is Milliam and Altina.
What about like Alphen or like
I'm gonna get
wait,
to
who
it.
else? Oh, okay,
Wait,
okay.
who was the other one? Alphen and who else?
I forgot what you said Milliam and Altina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say Elise as well. Oh no, actually no, you could ship Elise because I forgot.
No, because you have
What's
Patrick.
the Patrick? Patrick is the thing.
So
Yeah,
I'll just
that's
say
right.
that
That's
one
right. Oh
first.
my god.
Obviously, you had a crush on her
Yeah.
since one, but she looks. And then I
Yeah.
wrote, but then I wrote, but she looks at her brother way too much. Never mind, LMAO JK. It's just so bad. Anyways, first off, obviously we have Rena and Elisa. Like that's just obvious. First of all,
Yeah.
1 and 2, Falcom has just done that. And the
Yeah.
end of 4, um, had the picture between just the two of them at first. Like, and then everybody
Yeah.
else showed up, which was good. Um, Leading into everyone, and then even if they decide in 3 and 4 that everybody should be with Reen dot dot dot, whatever. We talked about that already. Um, so I think there's an argument you can make about Emma. I think that's very clear.
I agree. I
I
agree.
think
To
that
to an extent.
to an
Yeah.
extent you can make an argument about Toa. Um, they work together. She's always helped him. There's like some sort of stuff, but not like something as concrete as other stuff. But like with Elisa, obviously.
Yeah.
Even the musical quotes has Rena and Elisa as a thing. Um, I think that you can't argue that Alphen has a crush on Reen or should have a crush on Reen because of like not like something where it be like I love you, Reen Cold Steel, but that and also every other idea, maybe not Laura, because I guess I could see it, but not really. Can fuck off. Fair.
Yeah.
Don't ship him with Jubilee. Don't ship him with
Well, I,
Fee. Don't ship him with Sarah. Don't ship him with Claire.
yeah.
Don't ship.
Okay. Let's not go through the entire list. Let's just.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
up, I
Yeah.
have Elliot and Fee. I really like that one. I just think it's cute. They're like
Yeah. Yeah.
their dialogue that they have at the end of battles is like really cute.
It is. It is. Yeah.
And
I
in
like
like
that
the
one.
pic of like the calendar, there's like a pic of her with like a hat that really resembles his in 3 and 4, and it's so adorable with her wearing it. And it's just like, please just ship it.
Yeah.
Don't ship him and Mint and her and like.
They do though. That they do though. That's the thing.
Although he actually Elliot at the end had like his own harem, like in Eventide, like the second part, like he had
Dude.
like
Yeah.
4 girls surrounding him.
Yeah. He did. He was with like. Yeah. He was with like.
It was like Mint,
Yeah.
Ferris,
What's her name? Bridget. I think
yeah.
that's it. It was three.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think Bridget was there. I thought Bridget was with
Yeah. No, Bridget was there during event time. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was Edel, but I could have been wrong.
No, no, I don't think Edel was there.
Interesting. Okay. Um and oh, I think Vivi was there with them.
No,
No, there was 4 of them. I think it was Vivi.
there was.
Yeah.
All right, maybe.
But I know definitely Mint and
But
Ferris
I
were
was
there.
like, yeah,
But it's
but
sad. I
like it,
just want Elliot and Fee just do it.
yeah, but
And
Falcom
then
disagree.
and then next I have Yuna and Kurt. because of the beginning of 3,
Oh, dude.
obviously, because it
All right, I'm gonna be
represented what
honest.
Rena and Elisa have. And then
I'm a big fan of that ship, dude. It's so sad.
I do have to say, however, what the fuck
Oh,
was the solely thing about? Fuck that hashtag
don't
Union Kurt for
don't
life.
even ask me, bro. Yeah,
Actually,
same.
I wrote something else. That's really bad.
Mhm.
Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next up,
Okay.
I have Yusuf and Laura, both sword users. Which
Sure. Wait,
Laura
what was a
like
really bad thing? Oh,
on what? That's a really bad thing.
like you said. Yeah, you said like I wrote something else, but
Oh, so I have both sword
what
users,
was it?
which Laura really likes, and they're
Oh,
both kind-hearted nobles, which Yusuf really likes.
right.
What were you gonna say, Neil?
Oh no 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 no, because I was just asking about the thing you said you didn't want to say or something.
Oh, what thing did I not want to say? Oh,
I don't know, because you
oh,
said
oh!
like I
I'll
had
type it in
something.
chat. I
Oh,
wrote
okay, okay,
this instead of Kurt.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, lol, that's funny.
Next I have George and Angelica.
Right,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
he
agree,
couldn't
agree.
kill her. She seems to have a soft spot for
Nope,
him when they dance in one, even though
dude.
she'll
Yup,
probably cuck him with every girl she sees.
yup.
Um, then I have Crow and Toa. I think they're the other two in the group. And she also it also seems funny to put the goody two shoes with the gambling slack off.
Mm.
Slacker. I put slack off. Oof. Next I put Irina and Carl.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess because from the dance scene in
First
the
the
end of
dance
one.
scene. They're both widows. Um,
Yeah,
I definitely think like I could see them both be like, like they were both a part of the chairman stuff, so maybe there's like a little something.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't mind that. That was pretty good.
Then I have Machias and Patchery.
Uh huh.
You can see that she
Yeah.
likes him when you speak to her in the games, and I'm sure he
Yup.
feels the same. Um, then, oh god, this one's gonna be the one we probably talk about for a bit.
Okay.
I got Gaius and Emma.
Okay.
One, they,
Like, I,
all right. They both have distinct personality. They both have distinct backgrounds. One is of a Nordic church guy, and the other one's like a witch. So they're like both the odd ones of like class 7.
mm-hmm.
Some people ship with him with the Lind, even though I wrote this one with his Gaius and Emma, I truly have to ship him with the Wind. Uh,
Like, uh, honestly, like, I don't, okay, like, I don't even disagree with you. It's just like, Falcom disagrees with you. That's the thing.
I
So it's like,
know, like
I would like that. But, like, that's just not, Falcom's not feeling it, man.
I could so see it though, and like definitely
I agree.
and definitely having like the head priest be like, oh, that's not allowed. Witches are evil. Curse, curse, curse. And then then I have Ash and Tatiana, which like the dialogue in Michelin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Falcom's clearly, yeah, that's, yep.
I have
So,
Cedric and Shirley. I think that he is definitely her beta.
yeah, yep, I agree.
Toval and Ein, the Ein, is that who you say her name? The girl, the number one
Uh-huh.
stall ritter,
Yep,
Dominion, not stall
yep,
ritter.
yep.
What do you call them? Grawl
The
ritter,
girls
Gulls
are,
ritter. There's like that whole story thing about them, isn't there?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah. Yep.
and they like always
You
tease
see, Carnelia.
him about her.
Yep.
Then I have Sharon and Anton, which are the letters in the encounter and like the thing in Eventide.
Yeah.
Then I have, and I think Ava and Fritz would actually get a picture if it was in the style of the old games. I wrote Ava and
Yeah.
Sydney because of, like, I think it was a side quest,
Yes, yes, yes,
but
yeah.
I really
Uh-huh.
liked it.
Me too. I'm big fan. Big fan of that.
And then, like, honestly, Fritz, who like I wouldn't know because like so the next two wait. Oh, okay, I get that. The next three are jokes. So like first of all, I got
Okay.
Fritz and Kyrie. IDK side quest moment 2, I think.
Fritz. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then I have Muse and Alphen. I think it's just hilarious. I think it's just funny.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, and then I guess like Elise T's gang. I don't know.
Yeah. True.
And my last one is Sarah and Kurt.
Okay.
Buy my
What the
arts.
actual fuck?
That's all.
Oh, oh. I thought you meant like
Nope.
blue hair Kurt. I'm like,
Nope. They're
I was
both
like,
spelled.
what
They're
the
both
fuck?
Kurt. Buy my arts, dude. Buy
That's
my
right.
arts. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. All right.
anything you disagreed with other than the ones we had to say Falcom did?
No, not really.
I mean, I just want to say, like, it's cursed to think, like, Usus will probably end up with Millium, which is...
Very cursed.
It's so cursed. Like, I think that's
Oh God,
actually worse than
Falcom.
Dita and Agate, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. I on.
Uh,
Oh.
anyways, what's your overall rating of each game? Well, not each game. Actually, we'll go with the arc. What's your overall rating for the arc? Because I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah. Honestly, me too. For the overall arc, I'd say probably that.
And how would you put these in order for 1 through 4? Because, I'm gonna let you
Like
go.
best to worst,
Worst to best.
worst to best.
Yeah.
All right, I would go. That's a, okay. So, all right, so probably 4 to. I think right now probably 3-1. That's what I'm feeling right now.
All right. Mine is 2-3-1-4. I know what you're thinking. There are parts that I really don't like of 2, but I had enough or of 4, and I had nothing to say about 1. However, I'm a
Hmm.
sucker for Sky characters showing up in the games.
Oh, that's great. I mean, that's respectable. I can respect that.
I'm a sucker, dude. You know me by now. Like I love Sky.
I do know.
Ugh.
Yes.
Um, and I guess how before we go into like future stuff, really quickly, I
Hmm.
just want to say, where does this stand in the arc of Kiseki overall? The three ones that we've had, because I think it's the weakest, followed
Yeah,
by.
I think.
I think actually for me it's tied between Crossbell and Sky, because like with Sky I
Mm,
have to add third, and I love third, so I'd say
yeah, right.
you go.
For me, this is top to bottom, so best to worst. It probably is Crossbell, Sky, and then I don't know. Probably Cold Steel then Sky. Actually,
That's fair.
yeah. It's like I don't dislike Sky or
Sure.
anything, but like I think like Cold Steel just has the most interesting things. He has more interesting things going on,
That is a fair
and like
statement.
and then like sure like Sky is has it's like it has tighter writing, but it's also not doing as much. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's a good game. Like it's a really good game, and the characters are great. But like outside of the characters, I'm like, yeah, it's just I'm like compared to like I think the highs of Cold Steel do it for me. So I think that's probably yeah.
I just think for me, Sky is just is the high point for me. Like, I love all of the characters. I love
Yeah,
them.
dude,
Like, I love some of
me
the
too.
characters having to confront their past. I like in 2. I love the whole. I
Yeah,
love third. Like, third. Ugh. And, like, it's tied for me with the crossbell stuff because I think the crossbell stuff is. That's a masterpiece. I
so
really hope
it is.
that Kuro, which is Calvert, is gonna be our
Yeah.
masterpiece. So to segue into it, I know I have terrible segues. You've been killing it with segues. By the way, even though they weren't recorded. Oof,
Yeah,
rip.
they're not even
We've been
in this
talking about
video.
this for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like even more, like three and a half. Um, let's go with the future.
Okay.
So Hajimari,
Yes. Technically, that game
I
is out,
have
but
to
yes.
ask you.
Okay.
Okay. C is just the Grandmaster in disguise, right?
Yeah, of course,
Okay, cool. Bet.
obviously. Yeah.
Okay. What I actually wanted to ask was,
hmm
um, for Hajimari, I don't know how to ask this. Do we get any reveal? Like, are the new Class 7 characters like better? Like, do you know at all?
Okay, so they definitely do get their time to shine in that game.
Okay. Well,
So
yeah. Duh.
especially like Yuna, Altina, and Kurt, especially.
Okay. His
But
music's still
honestly,
like
like,
kind of bad.
well, I don't know. I don't think music was ever bad. So she's fine. She's
Yeah.
like she's yeah like they're I wouldn't say that they're drastically better than they were in the last game. So like it's not a huge difference or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Um, that's kind of true for all the characters that return in Hajimani, which is kind of all of them anyway. Like
Yeah.
they're all kind of the way they were before, but like with some slight changes and stuff. So,
So I do have to say, yeah.
mhm.
So, that's good. We could talk about Hajimari. I mean, I don't think we really should. I mean, like, we know what's kind of going on in there, but not really. Um,
Yeah,
who do you think? Well, you know who C is.
I know who he is.
All right. Like when C was first revealed? Who did you think it was?
My gut reaction when I first just saw the word C and the character, I was like, oh, it's just like Crow or some shit.
Okay.
That's who I thought it was. Just definitely because of like like Liberation Front stuff. I was like, oh, Crow.
I was honestly thinking, what if it was Cedric? Like when I first saw it. Like I
Yeah,
know it's
that was
definitely
that was
not.
another one. Yeah, that was my second one.
But I definitely think it would be cool to be like, it's Kevin, it's Kevin, it's gonna be Kevin, dude. Lol.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah,
And then yeah,
and like people really like C too. Like, the character's really popular. Like, I mean, like like
yeah.
people, yeah. So it's cool, cool.
Hajimari will probably end up being my favorite game. Like we're not gonna rank our games now. We're gonna do that with the overall Kiseki discussion.
hmm
Oh god, that's gonna be a day and a half long.
Yeah,
Um, So the thing I want to bring up because we don't know anything really about Kuro because I think what we're gonna learn is stuff about Yun Fan Kai,
yeah. That's gonna be really fun.
who
Like
I
we're gonna
think
see
is gonna
him with.
die. I
I
think
mean,
he will
maybe.
die, and I think that we're gonna find out that there's somebody in Calvard who also has learned our lovely way of the eight leaves one blade. Um,
Wait, what? Who?
Another person who we will find out
Oh,
not a master but someone who knows it, who will either have learned you said what's his name knows stuff about 3, right? The third form, what's his name?
who?
Richard, right?
Oh, Richard. No, it's the fifth form. Fifth form.
He's fifth form. What is
Wormy Moon.
Annalise?
Yeah. She. I don't know actually. 'Cause she doesn't really have a form. I mean, neither does Richard really. He just takes aspects of the fifth form, but he doesn't really like. He's not a practitioner like Reen, Arios, and Cassius are.
Yeah, but we're gonna like what I mean is like we're gonna see someone who knows it, not like a practitioner, but somebody like them. But somebody
Right.
like Richard and Annalise. Hold on, I'm gonna try to see if Annalise has one. Um. Damn, wait. Oh no, I shouldn't have seen that. She's an Hajimari. I didn't know. Oof.
I don't.
Hold on.
You sure just let me do it?
I should have. That's her story stuff, which doesn't matter. Okay. She studied under him, not powerful. It doesn't say. It just says she specializes. I don't know. We'll probably find out which one she specializes in, and then we'll probably have another character. I think we're gonna have the other characters for the other forms, like number 6 and 3 or 4, depending on which one she chooses. Is there an 8th form, or no?
Eighth form is weaponless, so
Oh right,
technically, yeah.
fair. I guess like I think that's what's gonna happen. We're definitely gonna find out that older, hotter Tita is actually just Tita from the future, and she will be stabbed
Oh my
like
god.
Sephiroth. She will be stabbed like Aerith with Sephiroth. I think is definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Bum
I'm
bum.
really interested
Wait, what were you gonna say?
because like they've I don't know. I'm really interested because they've told us like, oh, it's gonna be like very much like we're gonna find out a whole bunch of stuff in these games, like in Calvert. So
I
I'm like
think we
very
will
interested.
find out about McBurn's mixed half.
Yeah, like no, I'm talking about like the secrets of the murder. Like we're gonna find out like a whole bunch of stuff in this arc, and I'm like very excited. Like some of the pictures they've put out and stuff. Like it's just the hype. Hype is real.
So my thought is like, well, this is one of them. So I think McBurn, his outside half mixed with the human half, who could have been Epstein. I think
Yeah,
that
because he should.
what
Oh my god, dude. Like dude, the hype. Oh my god, like
and like the reason that happened and why he got mad was because it's when the Grand Master ended up either like started messing with our timeline. Like I get that like Ouroboros was started like 25 years ago, right? Or like whatever it was.
hmm
25 years from
yeah,
like
I
our
was
current timeline. I wouldn't be shocked if like she decided 25 years after showing up that she needed help dealing with it. So she gathered Ouroboros. To and I think it's like in our timeline or back in time because she lives in whatever this primordial nothingness is because she has to know they have to know about it. But I think she's gonna I think she's honestly trying to stop it, and I think it definitely has something, and I think the church might know something about this primordial nothingness that they're not telling people.
yeah, like the church is definitely like they're definitely hiding things for sure. I mean, we
Um,
know for a fact they're hiding stuff like like you can't leave Lemuria and stuff. So it's like you
yeah.
know,
Um,
I'm like, dude, this is the shit I live for, bro. This is it.
yeah, that's why we love One Piece so much. Like when One Piece is like, uh, if they didn't reveal basically anything that isn't the One Piece or the Will of D, or like I guess the First Kingdom or whatever it's called, the Old World. I don't know what to call it, but you know. I think that it should be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Also, real quick, it was 12. It was 20 years ago,
Okay, 20 years ago.
possibly
My bad.
from 1206.
Okay.
So
Okay, so 20
probably
years ago. Like, I still think there's a chance that she could have been working alone for a bit, or she was trying to scope out if, like, she went, like if she could start at that point.
right. This is
Because,
like so
because my thought is, like, why would he start yelling at, what do you call it? Why would he, like, be mad at the Grandmaster and everything if they had nothing to do with his thing 50 years ago?
yeah, because like I think what it is like they like you said like they knew about it and like didn't tell him. That's why he's like, what the heck?
So I think they had, like, I think the Grandmaster in particular has something to do with it. Or at least Campanella. Or maybe even Campanella does, but. What were you gonna say?
Oh, so like one thing I want to say, so like so the name of the final plan of the final phase is like the eternal recurrence plan,
Which is
and I'm
also
just
why I
like,
think she's trying to stop or like the primordial nothingness and save the world, Zamoria.
yeah, because she said at the end the Grandmaster stated that the nothingness of all would come about in 3 years, and I'm just like, oh, that's not a lot of time. What's going on? Like, oh,
So we are excited about that, and we hope you guys are too. Play these games.
yeah, like please play them. I mean, like I know like we like complained a lot, but like this series is my life. Like, dude, I love the series, dude. It's just like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah. And if you guys have
Like,
enjoyed,
yeah,
please leave a like, and we will talk to you guys in the next one, which will be I think it's games in review. No, it's the news. The next one should
oh,
be
okay.
the news, which we're gonna probably deal with at some point later this week. All right, goodbye, gang.
Bye.